So today we're going to talk about the nucleophilicity and basicity. And basicity. So what is a nucleophile? How do we define a nucleophile? Nucleophile is Nu negative. And how do we define nucleophile? It is electron donating tendency. To generate coordinate bond. It is electron donating tendency to generate coordinate bond. Example, if we see that we have CH3O minus that is reacting with CH3Cl. So actually it will attack behind to that and it will form CH3O and CH3 plus Cl minus. So this reaction is actually irreversible. And it is actually rate controlled. Means it is kinetically controlled. Because we are getting a single product, it is not thermodynamically controlled, it is kinetically controlled product. Because if we don't have any option, it will form the dimethyl ether. We don't have any option. So it is actually kinetically controlled. Actually reactions are two types. One is kinetically controlled and one is thermodynamically controlled. So next we're gonna look about when CH3O minus will act as a base and it will react with an acid. Then it will form CH3OH plus OH minus. It has proton acceptor tendency is base. Proton acceptor tendency is actually base. It is a reversible reaction. It is a reversible reaction and it is stability controlled. It is stability controlled and it is actually thermodynamically controlled then. Stability controlled means thermodynamically controlled and product is formed. So it is called TCP, thermodynamically controlled product. So nucleophilicity is actually kinetic property and the base is thermodynamic property. Base is actually thermodynamic property. So how do we define the strength of nucleophile? So in order to determine the strength of nucleophile, we have two types of nucleophile. One which are having a negative charge. This type of negative charge. Another we have a neutral compound. We have a neutral compound like alcohol, PHOH, ROH and RC double bond OH. There's two types of we have compound. So actually nucleophilicity is defined as strength of nucleophile or tendency of nucleophile to generate a sigma bond. Tendency of nucleophile to generate a sigma bond. Okay, now how do we define the nucleophile? We have two types of nucleophile. How do we define which is having a good strength of nucleophile? There are some rules we need to follow. Rule number 1, that conjugate base is always a good nucleophile as compared to acid. If we compare OH minus and H2, OH minus is a good nucleophile. Second, if we compare RO minus then ROH. Third, we compare RC double bond O minus then RC double bond O acid. Fourth, we compare pH phenyl phenoxide and then phenol. Fifth, we compare H2O is greater than H3O plus. Sixth, we compare RNH minus greater than RNH2. Seventh, we compare NH2 minus than NH3. Eighth, we compare SH minus greater than H2S. So when we have an acid HA, it will give A plus and A minus. H plus and H minus. This is acid and its conjugate base. So as a conjugate base always have a greater nucleophilicity than a regular acid. It's regular acid. What is rule number 2? Rule number 2. Rule number 2 says nucleophilicity. CH3 minus, NH3 minus, OH minus, then F minus. So nucleophilicity as electronegativity, if we are going from left to right, electronegativity increases and nucleophilicity decreases. Electronegativity, as the electronegativity is increasing, the fluorine has greater tendency to hold the electron and lesser tendency to donate the electron to form a dative bond or a coordinate bond. And then a CH3 has a less tendency to hold the electron and greater tendency to donate the electron. So if we compare in the negative charge, then which have the lesser electronegativity will have a greater nucleophilic tendency. If we compare between SH minus and Cl minus, SH minus has less electronegativity, so it has more nucleophilicity. If we compare RC triple bond C minus, then RC double bond C, RC double bond CH minus, then RCH2, CH2 negative. So it is SP, it is SP2, and it is SP3. So it has more electronegativity, so order will be reversed. We know SP have more electronegativity due to more percentage of S character. There is rule number 3. Rule number 3, we have fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So when we have all the four nucleophile, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Now we have a polar protic solvent. It will be having a different tendency in according to the solvent. We know when we have a polar protic solvent. Polar protic solvent. If you remember, the polar protic solvent can dissolve both cation and anion. So when we have an anion, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine has the less very big size. So it will be solvated by the water molecule, which is polar protic. It will be more solvent by water molecule. It will be very more solvated by water molecule, and it will be very highly solvated by water molecule due to its small size. So iodine, this is chlorine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So iodine is less solvent. So it has greater tendency. Iodine has a greater tendency to form a nucleophile. So nucleophilicity. Is directly proportional to size of atom donating electron. In case of polar protic solvent, it is directly proportional to size. More will be the size, more will be the surrounding. Okay, so now fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. This will be ordered in water. RO minus greater than RS minus, that is the polar protic. OH minus is greater than less than SH minus, that is in water. PHO minus is less than PHS minus, that is in water. So that is the tendency. When we use polar aprotic solvent, when we use the polar aprotic solvent, it doesn't solvate anion actually. We have seen already in previous video. It doesn't solvate anion. So fluorine less than chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. So nucleophilicity is directly proportional to the basic strength. If it is not solvated by anion, then more will be the basic strength, more will be the nucleophilicity. Nucleophilicity is directly proportional to the basic strength, right? Nucleophilicity will directly proportional to the basic strength. Now rule number 4. We know HI is a strong acid, so I minus is a weak base. So that's why we have put the I minus behind. So more the intensity of negative charge on fluorine, more will be the it is not solvating. So the intensity of negative charge of fluorine is more, so it is a good nucleophile. Now come to the next point, nucleophilicity is directly proportional to the base. Like we have O minus, then CH3, then it will be a good base as compared to nucleophile as compared to the phenoxide ion, because this negative charge is going in resonance, so its donating tendency decreases because negative charge in phenoxide ion is involved in the resonance, right? Similarly, if we see the compound like NH2, aniline, and this NH2, so this is going in resonance, so it decreases the availability of lone pair, hence decreases the basicity or nucleophilicity. And again we have CH3, C double bond O minus, which is less than PHO minus, which is less than RO minus. Then OH minus is less than RO minus. So these are all the order of nucleophilicity and basicity. And we talk about the case 5. We talk about the case 5. As acidic, if we compare between the CH3 O minus, CH3 CH2 O minus, CH3 CH, CH3 O minus, CH3 C, CH3, then CH3 O minus. As we are moving towards left to right, its basic strength is increasing because acidic strength is decreasing due to more plus I effect of this fourth compound, A, B, C, D. D compound has more plus I over the negative charge, so it will be poor acid and it will be a good base. But nucleophilicity is decreasing. Nucleophilicity is decreasing. Why nucleophilicity? Because it has lesser tendency to, D has lesser tendency to make donate the lone pair, because it of a very steric crowding, because it has more steric crowding. It has more steric crowding, that's why it has less tendency to make the coordinate bond. If we compare the nucleophilicity in between CH3, NH minus, N minus, N minus, so left to right, nucleophilicity is decreasing, but basic strength is increasing. So nucleophilicity is decreasing and basic strength is increasing.